Is there anything else you can do with that? Did you go through the full range of expression with this?
Oh, yeah. We had 11 people operating this guy.
11?
Yeah. You know, one person with a smile, one person with the eyes, one person with the hands, the wind machine, the moon, the clouds in front of the moon.
Great looking. Yeah. Well, let's move down here and take a look at this creature right here. Now, I know you affectionately call this creature Fluffy.
That's right.
Now, how can such a bizarre-looking creature be called Fluffy?
Well, it's a contrast in terms. Here's this mean little ugly monster who eats Adrian Barbeau in 3 bites, and they nicknamed him Fluffy, like a little kitty cat.
Now, what can this particular head do?
Well, he does a range of things. Let me show you. First of all, he breathes. And this is eyebrows. This is getting sticky here. This eyebrows up and down. A combination of the brows going down and the mouth snarling like that. Like, you know, and the eyes going up and down. This is getting sticky. Or he opens his bottom lip, and he opens his mouth. We knocked out a tooth a little earlier.
Now, I understand that these teeth are very sharp.
Very sharp.
Now, what are they made out of?
I took a cast from the fangs of a gorilla skull and just made a whole bucket of gorilla fangs. And then we filed them down different lengths, and all of his teeth are just the fangs of an actual male gorilla skull.
Now, I understand that some mechanical creatures in movies, they don't look real because they don't drool and things like that.
Oh, that's right. When I saw King Kong, and he was a beautiful gorilla, but every time he opened his mouth, it was very dry in there, you know, like should have been wet. So this particular tube right here, we pumped glycerin through it right behind the 2 front teeth, and he was always dripping.
So it came out right in here?
Yeah, right behind the 2 front teeth there, yeah. And the actor wore this. He had special lenses in his eyes, so that the monster's eyes were actually the actor's eyes, so he could move the eyes around, and he would open the mouth. All the other expressions were operated off camera.
Now, it must have been an incredibly uncomfortable experience for the fellow inside the costume.
Oh, yeah, sure, but he liked it. You know, you take an inhibited, mild-mannered person, you put a gorilla mask on them, and in like 15 seconds they're swinging off chandeliers and hunched over and trying to be the monster, because they're free. Nobody knows who they are. They can get away with anything, and they're this gorilla. They become the mask. Well, he loved being this 3-foot-high Tasmanian devil. And also, every 15 minutes we had to take the eyes out, just for his own comfort. Sometimes he wouldn't let us do it because it would have meant taking the whole head off. He just wanted to stay, you know, as the monster.
And this is only one of 3 Fluffies that you did for the movie?
Right.
Why 3?
Well, for the attack scenes, we had a puppet Fluffy. And for the underwater scene, we had to make a head. I didn't want to put this underwater. So I built another head and put a scuba regulator inside, so the actor, when he was in there, he just wore the mask and the hands, so he could breathe, you know, and so we wouldn't destroy this mask. That's why there was a 3rd Fluffy.
I see. Why don't we move down to this creature right here? Okay. And I think I recognize that old fellow there.
Yeah, this is Nate's corpse, the guy that says, "I want my Bedelia." See the stringy stuff in the mouth?
Yeah. What's that?
This is, well, it's just latex, but we did this because the movie is from the EC comic books. And every time there was a nasty creature, an ugly guy, he had this stringy stuff in his teeth. So, I mean, half of it's gone right now. But the actor wore this, and he could open and close the jaw. Except for the maggot scene. He wouldn't put this on and let us put maggots on it. I didn't blame him. I said, don't do it. So we got this girl to do it for the scene, the close-up of when the maggots are on it.
Now, what are some of the items that went into making up this creature? I think I saw some Rice Krispies.
These are Rice Krispies. This is all acrylic paint, and latex, and cotton, and yak hair, and it looks hard, but this is all foam rubber. This bony substance is sculpted and then reproduced in foam.
How about the teeth there?
The teeth are real teeth that a dentist would use in making a dental plate for somebody. They're plastic, acrylic, and they were part of the sculpture when I made it, and then just added them in later when I had the foam out of the oven.
Charming. Well, let's move on down. My God.
This is, if you've seen Friday the 13th, this is the Betsy Palmer head that is chopped off at the end of the movie. It's a quick shot where Betsy Palmer assumes the expression of the fake head as the machete swings, and we cut back to her with the fake head, and then it just gets lopped off.
Now, did you have to make a mask of Betsy Palmer for that?
Sure, she was great. We had to cover her whole head in plaster, and then to make the mold, and then the head was duplicated from the mold in foam rubber.
Well, speaking of Friday the 13th and movies like that, what's your philosophy on gore on the screen? How do you feel about it?
Well, I don't know if this is psychologically sound or not, but when I was a kid growing up and watching TV and movies, let's say there's the Lone Ranger, and here's the Lone Ranger with a .45, and he'd shoot somebody, and they went, ah, and they fell down. Neat, slick, murder wasn't ugly, it was easy, you know. Today, you got to turn your eyes away from the screen. We show the gore and the blood the way it really was, you know. And like, again, I don't know if it's psychologically sound, but I think the more we condition kids that it's ugly and hideous and nasty, that it's a turnoff, you know, I hope.
Well, as far as your work on these movies, you've actually turned down some movies, haven't you, that feature excessive gore?
Sure. The crazy, ugly maniac that rapes and kills pretty women in the woods, I turned that one down. No, that's not a real movie. But they're getting that blatant, so obvious. I got a script the other day called The Bloodthirsty Monster. I got one called The Blind Date, where this guy pushes his girlfriend's face into a Cuisinart, you know. But that's the difference. That's the only difference between the wave of splatter movies that was happening, was the murder weapon, you know. The murder, it was always killing these independent people, you know, but the difference was the weapon, a pitchfork, shears, a Swiss Army knife, you know. They overdid it.
Now, you have worked before in, well, you were actually a combat photographer in Vietnam, and you've been credited by some people as having anatomical correctness in a lot of your creatures.
Yeah.
Did any of that come through your Vietnam experience?
Oh, sure, but some people said that that began my interest in gore. When I see something gory on the screen and I go, ah, beautiful, it wasn't because it was gory. Because it worked. It was an illusion, a magic trick, a technological thing that worked, you know, and maybe that's why I'm so detached from it, because that's how I see it. So when I'm showing people this stuff and my artistic achievements, and they go, boy, you're sick, you know, you're demented, you know.
And when you refer
realize
to yourself sometimes as a magician.
That's right.
What you're doing is a sleight of hand.
Just a magician. I'm using mechanical devices in misdirection on this blank screen that you see and fooling you. I mean, that's all I think I'm doing is like fooling people. However, being in Vietnam gave me first-hand anatomical knowledge, let's say, okay? There's a difference between the real thing and a fake head or something, okay? This isn't a good example, but there's a feeling that you get. It's a visceral feeling when you was a real human being that this happened to. It's really, you know, if I don't kind of feel that when I'm creating something, that realism, it's not real enough to me.